Women are the gatekeepers of sex, and it's about time they realize it. Thankfully, the most unexpected person can lecture them.
How they felt about hookup culture and if they found it empowering. Because that's what a lot of girls I find are saying nowadays, that it's empowering. And I was, that was my question. I don't know if you guys want to answer that, but...
We'll start with Hensley. Go ahead.
I think hookup culture is empowering, but I don't think girls do it right. I think they go into hookup culture thinking if I give this guy what he wants, which is probably sex, then he's going to fall for me because I'm amazing and unique and I'm wonderful, and then they don't do that, and then they get their hearts broken, or they fall into bad relationships where it just started with a hookup. I think hooking up can be great, but you staying actually emotionally attached is something I so rarely see in women, so that's where the split happens.
You mean hookup culture for only girls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't like hookup culture.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because, wait, I have to organize that. Can you go?
Yeah. Angelina?
Oh, yeah. I personally don't like partake in hookup culture. I mean, like I used to, I had my times, but like it's not something that I like enjoy, and it's not something that I like engage in. And I don't like think that it's really an empowering thing either. I don't think that it's not empowering, but I think it's just like very dependent on who you are and why you're doing it. But that's just like, I don't know. That's just me. I'm not into hookup culture.
Shania?
I also have not participated in the hookup culture. However, I do totally understand where the empowering thing can come from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, first time I had sex, I felt like I could fucking walk on water, dude. Like, I was like, I did that. Like, holy moly. So I totally get it. Like, I understand. Like, it's a good feeling afterwards. But I just don't think I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same. I think hookup can be empowering, but just as Hensley said, like most women just get emotionally attached. Like my friends, she will start questioning herself, do I ever see that man again? Like, but he's just so cute, and like things don't end up well. So yeah, maybe people who choose to do that need to do that right to get the power.
She said women get emotionally attached, and that shouldn't come as a surprise because women secrete high amounts of oxytocin when a man penetrates them, especially if they are virgins. Still wonder why men prefer virgins over women who have been smashed by multiple dudes?
Do you want to come in on this, Natasha?
Yeah, I mean, if the panel was different, like maybe my opinion would stand out a bit more, but it's kind of the same as you guys. Like, I don't find hookup culture to be empowering, and I feel like the people that are teaching us that it's empowering aren't people that we should look up to. Like, I don't know if you guys have probably heard that Megan Thee Stallion song where she's all, "Don't run me, I run." And she's like a lot of our female influences that are in like pop music today, and I'm just gonna talk about that for a sec. Like, they all talk about like having a roster, and they all talk about like get that bread, get that head, then leave, and they talk about like having all these different options. When girls like, why are they preaching all that when that is not what women innately want? Like, we want trust, we want love, we want to bond with people, and I don't find that to be empowering. So it's like, why is this being pushed upon us? And then you have communities of college girls going out and sleeping, like Brian said in last podcast. He was all first quarter 20 girls or 20 guys for one girl, like a girl getting 20 bodies in her first quarter. And that is like, it doesn't feel good to have with multiple people who don't care about you. It feels so much better to be with one person who you trust, who is loyal to you, who you know is there to pleasure you and you're there to pleasure them. And it's just like a better experience, you know? And so it's really unfortunate that this whole like feminist idea of hookup culture, like we're taking back our power, we're being girl bosses, all this stuff. Like, how is sleeping around with shitty men empowering? It doesn't make sense. And it's also like having a bunch of hookups with shitty guys, that's leading you to dislike men more, and it just keeps the cycle going. Like, I feel like it was all set up to be that way. I don't know, it's just messed up.
Yeah,
that was a lot to say right there, but
to add on, like I agree with what you say for sure. I think like for me, like I think sex is empowering, but I think it's empowering when it's with someone you like love. It's not like for me, like I almost feel like not guilty after I like, you know, hook up with someone that I'm not like totally like I don't have feelings for or whatever. It's not guilt, it's more just like, damn, that really didn't do anything for me. Like and I feel like it just invokes more worry and more anxiety than it does like making me.
At the end of the day, women don't acknowledge that they're responsible for the type of guy they choose. So if they go for bad boys over hard-working, loyal men, they better learn their lesson instead of racking up bodies. Nothing is more powerful than knowing you made a mistake and correcting it. But these women prefer riding carousels. Continuing with hookup culture, here's another woman who explains why it's bad, especially for women, while men get almost free pussy.
Hookup culture is a game that women lose in no matter what. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why hookup culture is harmful for women and why a monogamous relationship is essential. So first of all, hookup culture is a man's game. Men are the one that want to have sex with a lot of girls without the consequences, whether it be for pleasure or for bragging rights. It's crazy to see how feminism is developing in a way where girls think that they should be able to have a high body count just like men. And I don't believe that any girl should be judged based on their body count number, but I do believe that women who take pride in having a high body count or seek to make that number higher are playing a game where only the guys benefit from.
Wow, that's real honesty. Men love conquering new lands, but no land should be ashamed of being conquered by multiple people, if you know what I mean. Metaphors aside, the reality is that women with high body counts are low value, and they're only pump and dump kinds of women, not the type to marry or take seriously.
And I know that some may think that girls can benefit too because everyone has their own needs, right? But this way of thinking is actually detrimental. It brings meaningless encounters in one's life and only serve as distractions from one's life problems or inherent loneliness. Social media plays a large role in creating false beliefs that our teenage years and early 20s should be full of one-night stands, raves, or nights at the club, etc. The idea that we need to party or get hella guys in order to make the most of our youth is so wrong. There is so much more to life than partying, and there are actual genuine ways to make the most of your youth. Like starting a business, focusing on your career, saving up to travel, spending time to learn about yourself, or developing your personal hobbies, and more.
Exactly what we say all the time on this channel. Getting money is way better than getting girls who have probably been used by other men. In reality, men derive more pleasure from doing valuable things than banging women with high body counts. They might be good as cum depositories, but nothing else.
Now I see that party culture is a waste of time. I don't mean that I never have a night out, but I don't agree with partying as a lifestyle. When I go to a party now, all I see is people pretending like they're close, or people faking their intoxication or their confidence. And I realized that parties are really surface level, and it's never what is portrayed on social media. Having one-night stands or going on a lot of dates just for show or just because that's your version of an amazing youth not only creates a false reality, but it also can create irreversible damage with your health, with your career, or with your relationships outside of partying. Women need men. So I'm not talking about those who are part of the LGBTQ community because I don't have much to say regarding same-sex couples or other types of partnerships or lifestyles. But for our society in general, this movement that is going on with feminism, that women don't need men, is not good for our society.
It's not good simply because without men, women are clueless. Just think of survival shows that prove that men can easily form a basic society, feed themselves, and even hunt caimans and sharks. But women just complain about how thirsty and hungry they are. Men design, create, and maintain society's infrastructure. Oh, and they also provide women with the sperm they need to have kids.
It creates weak, passive men and women who are not attuned to their femininity. What an independent woman really needs to do is create a space for a man in her life. Most of these independent women have lacked reliable father figures in their lives or have been hurt by men in their past relationships. And what I have noticed with these girls that put down men or say that men are trash or that they don't need a man is that they subconsciously cater to male attention, whether it be through social media or in real life. For example, this can manifest itself by wearing revealing clothing or by leading men on. But don't get me wrong, I love many aspects of the feminist movement because obviously I am a girl. I think that society needed women to stand up to men, especially in the past where society overly prioritized men over women. But what needs to happen in order for this tension between the genders to stop is forgiveness of men. Women have to realize that men aren't the problem. Bad men were.
In other words, not all men are pumping and dumping women. Just because a chick has dated a man with a rotation of women doesn't mean all men are the same, especially when it's known that most men are sexless. Let's check the comments. It actually pisses me off that so many young girls have been pushed into believing this stuff is good and empowering. No, it's not. Shaking my head. As a male 25, I feel like hookup culture is bad for both men and women. The constant mind games, being ghosted, being haunted by memories of women that used you for sex and then ditched you after 2 times, the emotional component that always comes even with purely sexual encounters. It is exhausting and can lead into a downward spiral easily. I have participated in hookup culture very extensively over the past 2 years, and while it surely helped me get more relaxed in dating situations and reassured me of my sexual desirability, I've never been more doubtful about my own love-worthiness as I am right now. It feels like my brain has gone through a few dozen of micro breakups, and each one will suck out your soul a little more. Great video. I'm 51, and my wife and I have been trying to get our 22-year-old daughter to understand this. She just doesn't/won't. Her older sister is happily married, has only had him as a sexual partner, and they now have their first child. She's going from one toxic relationship to another, and one inappropriate TikTok to another. That's not how she was raised, how our marriage functions, married 27 years, or how her siblings behave. She's bought the lie. If your video reaches even one young woman, then it's been well worth it. Keep it up. And to wrap up this video, listen to these women who admit that hookup culture has destroyed them, and now they feel very bad for their dirty choices.
So, I used to participate in casual hookup culture, and I felt like it was detrimental to my mental and sometimes physical health. And I just decided that basically I'd had enough of that, and I decided that I was not going to sleep with people anymore unless we were pretty much dating. I personally feel as though men respect women differently once they have slept with them. And in my experience, I began to feel just disrespected by every single guy that I ever slept with. I always would feel like as soon as I gave it up to a guy, I would just be trashed to the side. I was disposable, and it was really affecting my mental health and making my self-confidence a lot worse. And as I've gotten older, I began to value myself more than just being a one-night stand or a casual hookup for a guy. I personally think that I am of higher value than that. And I just personally don't feel comfortable giving that part of myself to someone who has no intention of committing to me in any way. And I feel like being with men who don't recognize that value in me decreases my value.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hi guys, there's something that I've struggled with that I think a lot of you are probably struggling with too. And it's hooking up with people and then feeling really upset when they don't call you. Casually hooking up with someone and then feeling really bad afterwards. When they don't ask you to hang out after, you're kind of questioning your self-worth. You think something's wrong with you.
Well, there is some truth in that.
Dating a damaged girl comes with, yes, the trust issues, comes with if I don't get a good morning or good night text that I do something wrong. It's going to come with the vague conversations and her questioning, is he mad at me? Did I do something? It's going to come with questioning the girl best friends because she's going to wonder, is he going to leave me like everybody else has for the ones he told me not to worry about? And lastly, it's going to come with the constant mental breakdowns because she's feeling emotions again that she is not used to feeling because she didn't want to have that happen. Dating a damaged girl is somewhat difficult, but I can promise you that no other girl will love you more than she ever will because she finally let her guard down enough to let you win, and she knows what it's like to be hurt. She knows what it's like to feel pain. So you know what? Trust the process with your damaged girl. She might question a lot of things, but I'll tell you what, she'll never ever question you when she lets you in.
Fuck all that.
Whoever has the power in the relationship, you go to their house. I had all the power in that relationship, and I never went to his house. He always came to me. He knew his place. Like he would sit in his.
Power in the relationship.
Like whoever's house you are consistently going to, they have all the power.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
There was a point in my life where the hookup scene was where I was at, is what I did. Sometimes I thought that I had to do it to be accepted, that if I didn't do it, then I would be looked over. And then other times I thought since I was already in that lifestyle, then what was the point of stopping and getting out of it? And then other times life was just hard and my lack of self-discipline was very real.
Nobody gives a shit.
Her, my parents told me not to do these things. I did them anyway. I regret that. Men, too late. Your only value now is as practice or a side chick. Imagine sleeping around and then saying they are high value. What the hell is wrong with these women? Women, I'm leaving hookup culture. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, sure, until Chad comes along, then her clothes evaporate in seconds. As you know, women break the rules for the bad boys while the good guys stay in the waiting list. Sad, but true. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.